Hello, my true crime lovelies. Testing, testing. One, two, three. If you can hear me, drop a one in the chat. If you cannot hear me, drop some zeros in the chat. Hi, Kathleen. Hey, Disney mom. I hope everybody is well. If you're not, I hope you're on your way to getting well. One. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hi ho. Hi, polynomial. I can't sleep, even though the boys are asleep. I've been up and I'm a little jumpy, so hopefully, Justice is here guarding me. So hopefully, I don't accidentally scream because I'm jumpy. Yeah. So I have been watching a lot of coverage on Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mom, and I have so many questions and something just doesn't seem right. So if you are up and thinking about it, you're in the right place. I don't know that I have any answers, but I've got a lot of questions. So I It's so weird to say. I'm technically work colleagues with Savannah. I've met her. I worked with her for 3 months at the end of 2020 on a COVID related thing. My part of my job is looking for efficiency, so I had to get my ass up super early in the morning and go hang out at the Today Show. So for those of you who don't know, Today Show is live. I worked the weekdays. I did not go in on the weekends. It's a 4-hour live morning program. The first 2 hours features Savannah. At that time, it was Savannah and Hoda. Hoda has since retired, so now it is Savannah and Craig Melvin, who I did his dressing room before I left on maternity leave. Whole other story. But yeah. So she and I were born in the same year. My mom's a little bit younger because I had a teenage mom. But watching her Instagram message with her brother and sister just really bothered me. Like her face was really swollen. She had obviously been crying a lot. But also with like the siblings, something didn't seem right, especially with the sister. Um, I know that what's her name, Ashley Banfeld, said she had some, I don't even know, a trusted informant, I guess, or a trusted source that said the brother-in-law might be involved. And then the sheriff came out today and said they're not confirming. Everybody's still a suspect. But there's been, yeah, just lots of conflicting things. Then they retaped her home up. So I'm going to go through the timeline with you guys because I don't want to flub this, but I think they retaped the home because people were on the property. Like I saw News Nation, what's his name? Brian Enton, like they were there and they were taking pictures of the blood dropping. So I think, me personally, I don't think they're like re-examining the home. I think they just want to preserve the property. Like well, I guess maybe they should have expected that people would go to the site. But you would think they would want to preserve it, right? Like not extra footsteps. They want to just like be able to go back. My feeling is this sheriff, no diss to the sheriff because I'm sure he's got a lot of pressure on him, but it's probably a lot for him as far as like how many people are interested, like the high profile part of it. And so I don't know. I feel for the guy, but let's go through the timeline because I was thinking like why would Ashley Banfield put that out there? Because if the authorities are not putting it out there, there must be a reason, right? Uh-oh. Sorry guys. I did new layouts and clearly I need to relabel them. Give me 1 second. Good Lord. There, that's what I wanted. Okay. Let me make this a little bit larger. This is from yourvalley.net, so a local newspaper, because I figured there are more boots on the ground. So here we have her, Nancy Guthrie, 84, female, 5'5", weighs 150 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. Last seen the evening of January 31st, 2026, at her residence. Unknown what clothing she may be wearing, right? So obviously she is a vulnerable adult. She's got a pacemaker. She requires medication. And today the sheriff said, they're still expecting her to be alive. So I hope that is the case. I think the thing that was like most disturbing was, one, that the family made a video, but then the dynamics. But before I get too far, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page as far as timeline. So Saturday, January 31st, she takes an Uber to her family's home for dinner. As I understand that, it's her daughter's home, not Savannah, the other daughter, who, forgive me, I can't remember her name right now, but before this is over, I'm sure one of you guys will tell me, or I will run into it here in one of these documents. So she takes the Uber, she has dinner there. 9:48, she's dropped off at her Tucson, Arizona home by her son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni. The garage door opens. So I'm inferring they have both him saying he dropped her off and then confirming the exact time by the opening of the garage door. And then 2 minutes later, the garage door closes, right? So she's not going in through her front door. She's going in through her garage door. So I was like, whoa, could somebody have been waiting in the garage for her? But nothing happens until 1:47 a.m., which now brings us into February 1st. The doorbell camera is disconnected. So the police had given that out before, but then now we're seeing photos of the missing of where the door cam used to be. So I think that's one of the things, like, while reporters were on the property, they were able to observe. Door cam is just gone, not just disconnected, right? It's been totally removed, and there's blood droppings on the front porch. So fresh, or fresh-ish, I guess. And then 2:12, camera's software detects movement, but there's no video available since Guthrie did not have an active subscription with the company, meaning the footage was not saved. Sometimes I believe it saves on a phone, like it'll do still shots. It won't do the full footage, because, like, I shouldn't even be saying it out loud, but I have multiple cameras in the house. One of them doesn't record because I'm basically just like watching. Well, I won't get into it, but one of them, but I still have stills on my phone on the app, and then it stays there. It doesn't stay there for long, but it does stay there for a period of time. So, like, maybe if she had an iPhone, they could go back and look in her iCloud. I don't know. But it sounds like to me this is a different camera than the doorbell camera. Like, this is an internal, but it's saying the camera's software as if it's referring to the doorbell camera. So I'm not sure on that. But there's some sort of movement. There's some sort of movement. On one of the news reports, it specified there was a human moving. I don't know how you can tell that if you can't see the software, but I know the authorities are keeping some things to themselves, and I'm glad, like, the FBI and whatnot is involved. Let me go back to where you guys are so I can see. How Well, I don't know that the mother is necessarily wealthy, but I think a lot of people have it and they don't subscribe. Like, they use it kind of like an old school, what do they call, peepholes? Like, they just want to see at that moment, but they don't want to record it because they don't want to go back and look at it, or they don't have a lot of visitors, so they don't pay for the subscription. I don't know how much it is. Some people reported Ring camera, and then other people just reported camera. So if you have a Ring camera, and or if you have some sort of doorbell camera, because I know there's different brands, and I'm sure they have some similar features and some different. But yeah, I don't know. And it sounds like she was used to going in and out of the garage, even though she didn't drive, right? Or at least not drive on a regular basis. So if it is the doorbell camera, did the person who came in know that? Did they know she didn't have a subscription, and so they were okay to go in and it wouldn't be recorded? Why take that risk? And also, if it is the doorbell camera, why didn't it record the person before the doorbell was disconnected? Right? Can you guys see this? Let me make it a little bit larger, because it has, yikes. So it says the doorbell camera is disconnected at 1:47, and then not quite 30 minutes later, the camera software detects movement. So that's what I'm thinking. It's software inside. It's a camera inside of the house at that point. Because if it's this camera, why wasn't a person detected before? Because the way her porch is, you're coming straight on, right? It's not like it's a wide, like a sitting porch. It's just like a straight into the house. So it's not like they could come up from the side. You'd see them up the pathway. Do you know what I mean? Okay, let's go. So 212, we'll say this is inside the house. Somebody has breached into the interior, right? They've breached the threshold into the house. And then 228, her pacemaker app disconnects from her phone. So as I've heard it reported, if you guys have heard something different, let me know. Her phone and her Apple Watch were found in the home. So it sounds like if the pacemaker app was disconnected, it's because the pacemaker has moved beyond the Bluetooth range of the phone and or Apple Watch. Does that make sense? So of course no one's checking her on her at that point, but they've reported that she's an avid church goer, doesn't miss it every Sunday she's there. 11:56, the family, she's missed church at that point. The family checks on her after she did not show up at church. So, excuse me, everything we know so far, Tommaso is the last known person to see her alive and well, right? No, this camera software were detected movement. It could have been someone else, but we don't know. So that's why I'm saying he's the last known person. Not saying he did it, but whenever someone goes missing, you do that backtracking. I hear Sweet Pea. He's coming up. I might have to grab him. So the pacemaker app disconnects. Family checks in. Guthrie. So the family calls 911 to report a missing person. So they don't waste any time, right? They go to the house. Perhaps they see the blood on the porch and they know something is wrong. Investigators arrive and launch a search operation, including the use of drones and search dogs at 12:15. I feel like they didn't announce it to us until Monday. I may have missed it though, but so that whole Sunday they're looking for her. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go get him. I'm gonna give you guys a 60-second break. Hang on. Because he's like, where is my mama? 60 seconds. I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay. So that is, let me just see what you guys are saying here. This song slaps. If she didn't organize this herself, then it's an inside job. How else would they know she needed her photo watch in order for the pacemaker to work? Oh, so you think she's pretending she's abducted? I don't know. I mean, they did say she has her wits about her. A family member is definitely. Oh, that's hey Margarita, mi Margarita, ¿cómo estás? Family member is definitely. That's what it's feeling like, Larry. And it's so. I'm gonna skip over to this because this one shot, I think. That's not what I want. Okay. there's this one. Here we go. This photo. Now, I know there's a whole Instagram video, but I'm just going to show, because I think anyway, yeah. I'll show the brother what he said. But this is the wife, right, of the person who was last known to have seen her. She looks so distant. Now, I'm not saying if her husband did it, she's also involved in it. But it just seems like, and if you've seen the video, you know, why isn't she comforting her sister? She just seems like over it. Do you know what I mean? But let's watch what he has to say. And I've heard different accountings, but when I watched the press conference, the FBI agent there said they did not write what they said. Like, the FBI did not write the statement that the family made. They give them guidance on like what not to say. Because I've seen conflicting reports, but when I heard it from out of the FBI agent's mouth, he said they did not write it. FBI did not write it for them.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
So that was the brother. That was the second statement that was made. I've heard of, like, there's been 2 deadlines. There was a 5 p.m. Pacific time, I believe it was, ransom end or deadline. And then there was a later one. I know there's someone who's been arrested for putting out false, which, why would you be doing that at a time like this? I mean, of course they're going to verify you have the person before they give up ransom money. But how do you, in this day and age, expect to get away with abducting an adult and having money given to you and you just ride off into the sunset? Do you know what I mean? But then does that make you desperate that you want to unalive that person? I just hope she comes back in one piece. Okay, let's see. So we did that. Drones and search dogs. Pima County Sheriff's Department post on social media to announce her disappearance. So I'm guessing that's all their local social media, like how they would, you know, with any normal, quote unquote, normal person. 9 p.m. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos, sorry, Chris, speaks to reporters near Guthrie's house and says he hopes it is a search and rescue mission. Monday, authorities on Monday morning announced that they believe Guthrie was kidnapped, abducted, or otherwise taken against her will. KOLD TV says it received an email Monday night that appears to be a ransom note. Note includes a demand for money with a deadline set for 5 p.m. Thursday and a second one for Monday. So what is that, the 9th? Which that seems weird. Why do you have 2 deadlines? And this woman doesn't have her medication, from everything we know. I mean, yeah. I'm just imagining, like, they came in and dragged her out in her nightgown or something crazy. But it was quick. They got the person out. Like, they got her out quickly, right? I'm going to scroll back. Sorry, guys. If the person is entering at 2:12 a.m., and then her app is disconnected at 2:28. It's not a lot of time. They must have already gotten her into a car and it's driving away for that disconnect. Do you know? And we know she is not fully mobile, right? There, and someone, I haven't heard it confirmed by the sheriff, but someone else reported that her cane was still there. So if you guys have heard it in one of the press conferences, let us know. But they got her out of the house relatively quickly, if pacemaker being disconnected means she was X amount of, feet from the house. Then they have this found signs of forced entry, but again, today at the press conference, the sheriff said he doesn't know where that came from. I don't know why they needed to talk to 47, but he weighed in. Uh, Although I think he likes Savannah. She did that interview with him. I think he's picky about who does interviews in that pink suit. So maybe he means that in a sincere way. After turning back Guthrie's property to her family earlier in the week, authorities on Wednesday returned to the home for a follow-up investigation. So that's what I'm saying. I think because I don't want to say reporters were looting it, but they were definitely on private property taking photographs, which I don't know if that's necessarily appropriate. I mean, if it helps bring her home, yes, but if my mom were missing, I wouldn't want you trampling over her property taking photos, you know? So on Wednesday night, this is last night, or no, now we're on Friday. Happy Friday. They posted the strange video. Just the body language was really strange. So Savannah talks to the kidnappers or abductors, and then she also talks to her mom. They want proof that she is alive. So in that media interview, it says my screen share lost audio. I don't have any. Hopefully, did you guys hear her brother? I don't know why that popped up. She's so tiny, they may have carried her. Yeah, that's a good point. And if there were at least two of them, that would be easier. Just pick her up. That's true. Hello, King. Elderly kidnapping, 65 plus, only account for 0.02% of cases, less than 1%. I was researching it myself and couldn't find one true case. Most were elders being forced to ATMs to withdraw money. Oh, that's a good point, Nikki. And you know what? I haven't seen them. No one's mentioned like if they've tracked her finances. Like, has she been spending money? Like, her phone's not there, so that's not going to happen. I know they said her purse was there, but they could have taken just her wallet, her credit cards. None of that has been mentioned. And I don't know. It sounds like perhaps they sent some sort of AI or AI-ish video of the mom, because why would Savannah say, you know, in this world, it's hard to tell. It's getting harder to tell, whatever she said of the AI reference and like how to spot a fake, basically. So was something sent that was questionable? I don't know. Since the mom has her wits about her, maybe she can tell them what medication she needs and someone can get that for her. It just is all worrisome because before it was like she has 24 hours. And now here we are on Thursday and looking out to Monday to possibly have that deadline. But then is it a double deadline? So because in the post that the family made, it was like, reach out to us. We're waiting for you. So presumably they have, I mean, they're not going to post on social media. So presumably they've previously given them a way to contact them. Or are they contacting the sheriff? Do you know what I mean? But so did that cancel the 5 p.m. deadline because they haven't reached out? Or do you know, like, how do you get an agreement with them? Like, yes, we're going to reach out to you and we won't do anything until you confirm. It's all very weird. And I mean, granted, we don't see a lot of abductions, but this is great detail, Nikki, like less than 1%. Thank you for sharing that with us. It is, right. I agree. Yeah, they shouldn't have posted pictures of her blood on the step. Yeah. You heard. Okay, thank you. I don't know, my browser is saying that audio failed. Thank you for that. Yes, this is a good point. FBI usually tells the family to say things that will humanize mom. Yes, and I think I was watching STS where somebody was complaining that she called her mommy, but I say that to my mom. So it was like, you know, you're strong, that definitely. But you can tell, like in the photos they're showing, Savannah really, really loves her mom. You know what I mean? Like she adores her. And I'm sure this is rough on her. I mean, how could it not be? And there's a lot of uncertainty. They know more than we know, but it's also like a dance. if you will. It's kind of like corporate America. There are some things you can say directly, and there's other things you can allude to, and then there's some things you can say nothing about, and you have to keep that all going, right? But then she's also in this emotional state, so I think that's why it's best too to write it down so you don't accidentally say the wrong thing in the state that you are in. Um, it's gut wrenching to watch. Oh, this is a good. We don't know who was supposed to take her to church. So the way, or at least it hasn't been shared with us, the way that the sheriff has said it is that she did not show up to church, right? So it wasn't like, it wasn't said we went to her home or someone went to her home to pick her up and she didn't answer. So maybe she Ubered there. She Ubered to the daughter's house the night before. So maybe she was meant to Uber to church. I am not sure, but that's a great point. Yeah, kidnapping with no proof of life. So, Larry, I don't know if it's no proof of life or if it's questionable proof of life, right? I mean, back in the day, you would get a photograph of the person with a newspaper with the date to verify that. But then, if you think of like, what was his name? Israel Keys. Remember he abducted the girl? I can't remember if it was like a donut shop, some sort of convenience shop. He, held her eyelids open and sent a picture with the newspaper. She was already deceased. But that was the proof of life, and it looked like she was alive. So there's people that are doing that too. Yeah, I'm glad. Sue, is it Sue D? Sue D 799. Yeah, I'm glad they're involved too, because they will be, yeah, yeah. It's weird that the ransom letter went to news media and not the family. Yeah, that is very strange. Well, the one guy who was the fake, they did it for that reason, I guess. But right, why wouldn't it go to the family? Um is it to make it a bigger story? Because that's the part that's bothering me. Like, why would you draw all of this publicity to your, if you're abducting someone and really are going to give them back? I mean, either way, even if you're not going to, you're going to be found because it's such a public thing. Um, well, I guess the John Benet Ramsey thing went on. I just, it doesn't make sense. Like, so much of it is not fitting, but it's giving inside job. But even then, yeah, we don't know enough about the dynamics with the siblings though. It just seems like, I mean, I guess because we're all true crime junkies, and it's like you nothing really can surprise us at this point. You hope for the best and prepare for the worst. But like, where is she? Where would they be keeping her with all of this publicity and nobody has seen a thing? Like, did they sneak her in? It just, somebody's habits have changed if they've actually taken her in and keeping her alive. Do you know? Did they plan ahead? Did they buy extra stuff? Did they prepare like a kidnap location somewhere in a basement? Something has changed. And so it's, hopefully everyone is paying attention, like not in a paranoid, jumpy way, like how I am, because clearly she's not in my apartment. But some pattern has changed somewhere. Something is out of place. It's just a matter of like who knows what and who's talking. Even, I just hope people go, actually, where is that, even if it seems like nothing, to report it, because it could be something major and you never know. Where is there? Oh, they're just saying call 911 because it's local. But I guess worst case scenario, I'll try to find it. If not, when this is done, I'll post a contact info in the description box of this, because somebody might see something and it's off and they don't know why. Here, wait, let's see if this one will play. This is the AP. Yeah. So here her sister is holding her hand, but she's got some lip compression too. Brother just seems stoic. That's really dark, but it says prayers for Nancy. Um, yeah, Carolina. I don't get it either. And they're saying that was always a second deadline, which then why do you have the first one? Like, who's breaking the deadline if it doesn't happen by Thursday? We'll give you till Monday. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Um, yeah. Okay, let's go back to our timeline. Yikes. Oh, it took me off to AP News. Let's see if we can get back to Valley. Here we go. So, yeah, today they revealed that a DNA test of blood found on the home's front porch showed it came from Guthrie. So they've matched it to something in her house, toothbrush, hairbrush, something else to confirm. Or I guess they could have crossed. But that's fast. If they took that on Sunday and they got it back by Thursday, that's fast. So that shows they're putting a lot of resources into this. And the FBI has offered $50,000 reward for information about Guthrie's whereabouts. So I know some people are like, oh, that's not a lot. But if it's someone who saw something who might not otherwise come forward, right? I mean, it could be nothing, it could be something. But there was one case a long time ago, Jebediah, I can't remember his last name. It was in Florida. He took a mother and the two children and did awful things to them and then dropped them in a river or an ocean, and they just blasted out a reward, and it was like little pieces that or Jebediah something, he had like written something on a note of like where to meet him. He had a boat, he offered to take them out for the sunset, and he murdered all three of them. But it was like that, here's a reward if you have information. It was like bits of it. A lot of it was nothing, but there was enough of it to connect it back to him, and that's how they caught him. So you never know. Like, you might have seen something and think, oh, it's odd, but it's probably nothing. Like, it could be something. If just trust your instinct, and if you're there, report it. Couldn't sleep and much too hi Tab. I couldn't sleep either. This is bothering me. I'm sure Diane warned us about that. Oh, wait, who's Diane? I missed it. AI is tricky. Some of the Boone AI posted on Reddit is right. There's a lot of it that's realistic. And yeah, there's some really good fakes out there. I care a lot with Rosamund Pike about abducting and scamming the wrong granny. Oh no. Boone A. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I totally get it. And I think if her mom, like, she's saying it because she wants her mom to hear it, and it could be like if the abductors are hearing it and mom is with the abductor, she's hearing it and she knows that for sure her daughter is fighting for her and wanting her safe return. Um Diane, how do we only listen to her? Which Diane? Not Diane Downs. Oh my god, I missed it. Meow Garita, which Diane? Wait. Um, so okay, the Miss 56 says they don't have a way to contact the kidnapper. The kidnapper said no communication. That would be the only communication. Is the social media communicate? Oh god. Okay. But see, that's what is confusing, because if that's the only communication, is that it's like they've made it a negotiation, because if they have a deadline, if the family had a deadline and they missed that deadline, is that well, I guess because they have the second deadline, you haven't really offended them. Um, it's weird. It's very weird. But it's like back in the day when they would kidnap, like before internet, and they would have you go here and then go there so they could see if you had contacted the authorities, like if people were following you, because they would say don't contact the police or your family member won't make it. Sheriff should have sealed the home and not release it back to the family. FBI shouldn't have said anything about the pharmacy checks either. Oh, what did the FBI say about the pharmacy checks? Yeah, I don't know why they didn't seal the house, especially because you haven't eliminated anyone. And so, what if it is a family member? Now they could be in there hiding evidence, concealing evidence, removing evidence. Do you know what I mean? And then, of course, even if you were going to release it, well, no, I don't think you should. I think they should have taped everything off and kept like the rubberneckers away from the property. So, and Savannah is the youngest. She was only 16. Oh God, I didn't realize she was that young. Hello, Miss King of anything. Yeah. That makes sense though, her being the youngest. Yeah. Um oh, she was attending church online and she didn't log in. Interesting. Thank you, Fluff Pink Sixony or Fluffy Pink Bunny. That would make more sense. So she was that's astute of them to notice who's logging in online or not. Maybe she does like a speech in there or something. Okay. So she didn't log in and then they went to the house. Interesting. Okay. Thank you for that. She has a car. Maybe she just didn't drive to the family thing because it ended late and night driving might be a problem. Okay. That's true because it was like 5:36. So, yeah, my mom doesn't like to drive at night. Good morning. Wait, keys. Oh yeah, he did put makeup on her. I mean, that was like the creepy. He was weird. He was like, "Oh, yeah." But that was after like a long stream of unaliving cuz I feel like she was one of his last victims. He was out there, but not at night and not very far. Okay. Pacemaker is recording to her cardiologist's office. That's why the sheriff believes that Nancy is still alive. Oh, it's still reporting to the. That makes sense. Thank you, Carolina. That makes sense. I still haven't read the TMZ letter. Is it online? Let's see if we can find it. But is the TMZ letter the one where the guy got arrested, or that one is believed to be a valid one? TMZ ransom letter. Oh my god! And the Bitcoin. I'm gonna play it. I'll probably get a strike, but I'll have to fight it. Let's see if I can. Let's see if it's gonna load for me. He went right back to sleep. I think he just likes to be held. There's an ad playing, so I'm letting it go. We got 10 seconds. It's like a DSW ad. I guess I could show you guys that. I need to get Sugar Bear some snow boots. Okay, hold on. You guys hear? Okay, just really quick. See, even that right there, where they said the kidnappers talked about specific damage to the house, that is also the problem with the news media showing continuous photographs because now we don't know. I mean, I don't know when this came in. Hypothetically, someone could see it on TV and not actually have been there and fake it to do you know what I mean? Like I don't know why they I mean, I'm not blaming anybody for anything. This is obviously on Monday morning quarterbacking. Um and I'm sure they don't deal with this every day, but it just We need like a true crime junkie to go and talk to that sheriff because I feel like we would have known better. But I'm not a sheriff. I don't know what pressure he's under. I'm sure they're vetting all of this. Oh, they didn't show us the letter. Okay, hang on one second. Let me. Oh my god. If anybody knows, oh, that doesn't scroll. That's weird. If anybody knows, let me just try it one more time with the Google. TMZ. I don't know, guys. Fox or CNN or New York Post. Let's do this one. We're gonna do Fox. We won't listen to that. Um, it says one of you guys says she had a dog, so that's interesting because now that makes me wonder if the camera movement could have been the dog and not actually okay, shoot. Hang on. He's low on his side. So, yeah, someone educated. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Hold on. Sorry. I think I was muted when I said that before. So, someone educated because the average American reads and writes at the sixth grade level. And so he's saying it would be a letter, the grammar, a teacher wouldn't find any grammatical errors. Also, if it is someone in the area or nearby, like Harvey's saying, New Mexico, and shout out to Harvey. I don't think YouTube would be what it is, at least true crime YouTube, without him in the early days and the paparazzi and the FOIAs. But so then they're probably pulling all cameras nearby coming and going. If they came from New Mexico, they probably needed gas, or maybe they stocked up and put gas in giant gas cans, somewhere. If they came from out of town, it looks like, and it's hard to tell because I know they interviewed some of the neighbors, and most of the neighbors or all of the neighbors didn't even know that she was Savannah Guthrie's mom, which why would they necessarily? Do you know? How close are they? How close are other neighbors? How close do they have cameras? Can they catch them? It sounds like, and in that picture, it looked pretty dark, her house at night, but the kidnappers mentioned floodlight. So you may not see anything unless there is actual movement. But if a car is coming and going as quickly as this car did, that the floodlights may have not stayed on a long time, and so maybe people would think, oh, it's like a coyote or something, or some animal that brought it on and then it went off. But then it makes me think, so if it's someone who's familiar to the area, or at least familiar enough to get there, get in and get out, but also then familiar with the layout of her house, right? If we're talking about they came in and carried her out, they'd have to know where she was in the house. It's not like they're going to be like, hello, Nancy, are you home? And she's going to be like, who is it? You know what I mean? Like they would have gone straight in and gone straight out. And maybe she also takes something at night, like, I don't know, melatonin or something a little stronger to help her sleep. And the person would know that as well. But I think anybody, like over 50, maybe over 40, if you wake up in the middle of the night, you're not like up and at them, as at least as if you were younger. Do you know what I mean? So I gotta find my glasses. I gotta, just reorient myself. And so, yeah, I don't know. So someone is saying, Fluffy Pink Bunny is saying the dog died in December, which I'm sad to hear. So then it wasn't the dog movement on the camera. And yeah, Suji, I just, it was, I don't know. It felt creepy, cringy to me. I get that it might be useful for some people. I don't know how though. I was glad that it was drops. Not that that means anything, but it just made it feel like, okay, she's injured but not mortally wounded. But it felt very personal, too personal. They could have left it at house. Even they knew what they were doing. Yeah, they definitely were familiar. Doesn't mean Nancy Guthrie is immobile. She doesn't drive. Very limited movement. Okay. So some of you guys are saying she does drive, but not at night, and some of you are saying she's immobile. But she would have been able to get in and out of her house to get to the Uber. And I know in one of the photos with Savannah, but it's not dated, she's got a cane. So she's come to New York a couple of times. Again, I don't know the date, so it could have been 5 years ago. I don't know when, I don't know a lot. There are lots of options. Miss. The sister on the outside seemed cold, and Savannah looked tired, right? She looked exhausted and weary, and the sister didn't look like she was missing any sleep. Do you know? And she was closed off. I just can't, for me, and I'm like a super emotional person, so I would have been like rubbing her back, squeezing her, holding her hand, like we're gonna get through this together. I get that not everybody presents that way. Some people are like, I just got to get through it, and then when I'm done I can break down. And I've been in that situation too, but I will still try to connect with the people around me. It just like the whole, like I said, we need like a body language. Maybe Dr. G will give us his opinion. We should raid his chat and say like, can you cover this? Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to this timeline. So they took the property back. They post the Wednesday night video on Savannah's Instagram. They want proof that she's alive. Investigators say they have no proof that she's still alive, but are holding out hope she is still out there. Yeah, that's what I heard today. Officials reveal. Oh, yeah, there. I said that already. I did this. Okay. So, yeah, it is just, there's a lot, but so little. Okay, Fluffy says she does drive. He is who showed the no, so not the TMZ guy. He's out in Los Angeles. It was Brian Entin, I think is how you say his name, Entin, who showed that. At least that's the first time I saw it. I'm not saying he's the only one who did it, but he was covering it. There were a bunch of news people out there. She does right. Okay. Yeah, someone knows something. A couple people know something. I just don't get like the money angle, and then they sent it, which makes me like, obviously they know who her daughter is, because why would you be sending it to TMZ, right? It went to like, I saw TMZ reporting on it, Deadline, all of the entertainment coverage, and so it could be family, could be a total stranger, but the fact that the sheriff is not speaking about like the last person who saw her or what her temperament was. Like, we've talked to him and she was very sleepy. It just, and I get they can't say everything. I get it. But I'm like trying to figure out what are they not saying and what must be happening behind the scenes. Because I'm like, I don't know how long these kidnappers thought they would have her, right? I mean, did they buy pajamas for her? Is she eating well? Is she sleeping well? Like, what is her experience going? What is her experience like? When Savannah was like, she has medicine and some of it, she's in pain and it's to help her suffer less. And I'm like, well, she doesn't have any of that medicine. It's not just insulin, if that's what the first medicine was. It sounds like there's multiple medications. And the longer she goes without them, right? Someone, I think that was you, Carolina, that said, what if they would have to know her name. This says breathe. Yes. Yes. Even though that was 30 minutes ago. Thank you. Maybe they stocked up on it if it's a family member. Maybe they had filled her prescription before and got an extra one. I really just hope she's okay. Like, whatever is going on, I hope this is some sort of horrible incident that moves past and she comes home safe and sound to her family, because it's just weird. It's so weird. Yeah. Hi, pretend judge. I'm afraid the odds aren't good, even if she wasn't family, but there is a chance since everything else is so weird. Yeah, with this case. I feel like the more the time goes on, the chance of her coming back alive decreases, which is what is freaking me out, because who nobody wants a loved one to have this happen and to not know that they're okay and that their needs are being met. Do you know? Because it seems incongruent that someone would kidnap you and then take very good care of you, although they should, because they want a ransom. But it's like, what provisions were made for her, and if they were the nice kind of abductor, did they go out, did they get an air mattress, did they get a bed, did somebody see them, did a neighbor see some unusual activity and wonders like what's going on? Yeah, I don't know how far it would be to get to New Mexico, but is that all done under the cloak of darkness and nobody, like what are people seeing that they're not connecting? Oh, is Annie the other sister? Her car was taken to be searched. And Fluffy Pink Bunny, is that the car that the husband used to drop her off? Yeah, I know Savannah's a lawyer and a reporter. I did not know. Oh, that makes sense that brother is a U.S. Air Force pilot, retired. Sister is an artist. Okay. The dollar amount goes up if the first deadline is missed and the second deadline is more or else. Right. And they're just supposed to deposit it into this Bitcoin or whatever the cryptocurrency is. And has it been communicated like how, when they would get, I guess that you'd have to do at the last minute, right? Because otherwise you'd have the place staked out if they knew. It just is too much uncertainty. And then they validated that the crypto account was valid. At least TMZ did. I'm sure the FBI has done that by now. But what was that one? There was like a social media couple who actually got arrested for their crypto fraud, but it took a while. Oh, they had a weird one. The girl was like a rapper. She had a weird name, but they eventually got caught. But then I hear cases of like people running off with money on those romance scams. They're like, put it in my Bitcoin account or put it in my whatever cryptocurrency account, and then that's not traceable. So even that is like sus. And that's the thing, like if it's your family member, you're willing to do whatever. Um well, obviously you want to make sure they're still alive, but it's how can you even think straight? Do you know? I'm sure the FBI is guiding them through all of that, like the negotiations, and but it just I can't fathom it. Hey, Addie is me. We're speculating yes and no. So it's likely someone who knew the layout of the house because of the time from when there was movement in the house detected, and then the time that her pacemaker or whatever information was disconnected from her phone app, because presumably it was because she was X amount of distance away from the house. That's really the main thing of like of it being an inside job. Info in the chat. Yes, everybody's got good info. Thank you for sharing. Physical harm. Yeah. Yeah. And like nobody wants that, but then especially not for a vulnerable 84-year-old. You could see in some of the pictures where she had bruises on her arm. I mean, we all are, as we get older, our skin gets thinner. She might be on blood thinners. It is, she's not completely mobile. That's what I'm like, is she comfortable? And then the threat of like more harm, they're intending to make her very uncomfortable. But that's what I'm saying. If it's sort of like a weird standoff, because if they don't deliver it by Monday, they're going to harm. If the Guthrie family doesn't deliver it to the abduction team by Monday, the abduction team is going to harm Nancy. But if the abduction team doesn't provide proof of life to the Guthrie family, they're not giving. You know what I mean? So it's like how do you reconcile that? And I guess that's the FBI helps you sort that out. But it's I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If it was my mom and I had the money, I would risk the money at the chance of getting her back. And then if she weren't alive, I would knew I had done everything. I wouldn't want to take that risk, right? Of like, oh, I'm gonna hold on to it for 5 more minutes. I don't know. It's just I don't know how you reconcile it all. Would take her if deceased. You mean take her out of the house? Oh no, I think she definitely left alive. Um, yeah. I know. Who would do it to such an elderly lady? I don't know. Somebody cruel. Yeah. It's just very, very strange, and it's gotten a lot of attention. I don't know if that was part of the plan, if they accounted for that, but I don't see how they're going to get away with it. And then if that realization dawns on them, is it better to return her alive? Like, is there a significant difference in charges, in criminal penalties? I just, like, what are they thinking? It just doesn't feel logical. Um, it's a J Wellington Wimpy deadline. I'll gladly, oh my God, Wimpy, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Yeah. He tied cinder blocks to them and yes, you know who I'm talking about. Oh, I think it was Obadiah, Jebediah. They thought it was the dad because the dad, they had a farm and he stayed back on the farm and he was like very laid back and matter of fact, but he's like, the farm's not going to run itself. And the guy, the Jebediah, whose name I'm butchering, wrote something on the directions on like an envelope, and they found that. And then there was something on the one of the daughter's cameras, but it was like little pieces that put it all together. So hopefully, unfortunately, they weren't alive, but their bodies were recovered. Do you know? Because that's the other thing. If this person does just is not of their word and something happens, you at least want to have the ability to have, to put that person to rest in the most respectful way possible. um don't want to go there yet because I'm hoping she's still alive, but there's all these things, there's all these unknowns. FBI International, last people who was with her daughter Annie and live-in partner Thomas, but they aren't any persons of interest suspects. Yeah, so the sheriff said, first he said there was none early in today's press conference, and then he said no one has been ruled out, so everyone is a suspect. But I think if it is the family, you have to be very careful. Um, I mean, even in the, what was it, the Stephen Stearns, when they were doing that or when they were doing the press conference that they were saying that Maddie, they didn't believe she was alive. They had Jennifer in a room, the mom, and they had Stephen in another room, and they called them down there because there's certain things you don't want to say in front of them, because then they could change their story to fit that, right? So and that's why I'm curious, like when the TMZ came through about the floodlights and the other things. I mean, obviously, if it's a family member, they would know that. But if it's someone, did they know it because of what they saw on the screen and they're pretending they are the kidnappers? Do you know what I mean? Like you have to keep the information really tight. It just doesn't seem, of all the people in all the world, if you want to like kidnap a famous person's relative for money, this doesn't seem like the right pick. I mean, unless you're local, I don't know. It just doesn't, I can't make it make sense. Oh, they did a billboard. Yes, in Florida on his writing from directions. Right. And they got a lot of calls. And there were some people who were off and there were some people, then whoever it was called back multiple times. Like they didn't have the resources to go through it, right? That's the other thing when people are like, what's taking so long? Like granted, they've added a lot of the girls are going crazy. They've added a lot of resources with the FBI, but to go through all of the calls, all of the leads, it takes time. Um but yeah, they did. I remember that now. I need to go back and watch that. That's his full. I don't know if that's his full name. Oh, Larry's. Is it? Is that one? I had no idea. Um. Oh, okay. And Diane Downs. Diane knew. Good Lord. Diane is a whole. I hope they study her brain. I just feel his speculation creates false stories. I thought USA media rules changed after Columbine regarding reporting on live, etc. So I feel his reporting borders on unethical. Is that the Brian guy or the TMZ guy? Oh, okay. So it would definitely be someone in, because I don't think the news reported where it was. They just, or the sheriff, like they said it was in the house, on the charger. The case of the woman boyfriend who kidnapped her elderly couple friends and buried them alive out of Florida. I remember it was a young girl, like Angela something. They rode them around, they drained their bank accounts, and then they dug a hole and put them in there. It was like they had looked out for her too. That one was, I do remember that one. Oh my God. TMZ is dodgy. I haven't watched it. I was actually looking and thinking like how old that guy looks. Like I haven't watched it probably like 20 years since I left LA. Um like when I watched it was the days of following around Paris Hilton drunk. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like of the early days of YouTube type stuff, it just reminds me of that. I have always thought they were a little sketch. Wait, but I think they impacted the way social media evolved, good, bad, or indifferent. Some of her craziness, the FBIA. I don't remember her calling it the FBIA. Yeah, yeah. Because they do, I found them back in the day to do a lot of either misreporting or it was always derogatory, right? And so there was like a thing among actors, like the up and coming newish actors of like, be nice to them or they're gonna report something nasty on you. Like they had that reputation, which that's sleazy. Let's just call it like it is. You shouldn't have to kiss a reporter's ass for them not to be nasty, you know? Um they didn't seal the home, the crime. No, they didn't. They turned it back over to them. Then once the reporters started taking pictures and they went back out and secured it. But again, even if it wasn't high profile, you give it back to the family. If it's a family member, they now have full access. Again, I'm Monday morning, or technically Friday early morning quarterbacking. So there could have been a reason for it, but they've resecured it since then. Um, I can't imagine the sheriff has dealt with something like this before of this magnitude, right? You don't necessarily think like, oh, people are going to go take pictures. Um, oh, are they culty? Um, I know. I feel bad for him. I can't figure it out if he's like trying to Columbo us. Like, is he going to be like one more thing and he's really got it all together? Or is it, is it too much for him? I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. It's got to be stressful. And you've got I'm sure he's not sleeping well, you know? Investigation seems bungled from the first step, and the FBI is only making it worse. Oh, in what way is the FBI making it worse? That's unfortunate if that's true. There's so much corruption and error. Oh, okay, Candace. Thanks for that tidbit. It just, yeah. Family dinner was 3 miles from her house. Okay. Yeah, Keys was awful. I live in Texas. We're all armed. Stay strapped. Stay frosty. We can't even go outside with our guns in New York, at least in the city. It's very strange. I'm like, how are you supposed to get to the range? It's like the opposite of where I grew up. Right? Tangent. Sue, I think Nick Rayner worked it. Did he? Oh my God. Did I say his name right? Reiner. Rob Reiner. It's Reiner. Nick Reiner. Oh, especially if they have a pacemaker. Right. Yeah, I had to do blood thinners for both of my pregnancies, and yeah, I mean I already bruised like a peach, but it was just little light things. You'd bump into something and you'd have a big bruise. And so if the blood's pooling and then the skin breaks, she's gonna have that. Like I said, I was glad that it wasn't a lot of blood. It was droplets. If only the pacemaker had GPS. Ooh, right? That should be something they do going forward. Although I don't know how much you can put in there. You are putting it inside your body. You don't want to make it too big. Um, good evening, good morning. This is Forever Wander. How are you doing? Uh-oh. This says no sound. That was at 3:09. Okay, hopefully. The killers on game shows. Oh my god. What didn't you guys hear? No sound on the video? Oh, crap. If there's ever no sound, we'll do 000. Hold on, let me go back then. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on, there's got a commercial. Okay. Did you hear that part? I wish I saw you under better circumstances. Can you guys hear me? Oh, shoot. No sound still. Oh. Okay. That's so weird. Okay, let me remove and add again. Just stop sharing, reshare.
Let's talk a little bit what you learned as this was going on in real time while you're doing the show.
Well, I kind of need to back this up to Tuesday when we received what looked like a ransom letter.
Oh my
and so
God.
we called the sheriff's department in Pima, and they took the information. There was something in that letter that caught my eye at the end.
A ransom, a kidnapping ransom.
Okay. He's talking about the ransom. Something in the letter caught his attention about them being in the local area. Zeros tell me that there's no sound because I can see that easier. Oh, wait, that was sound? Margarita said sound. Did you hear that part? At least we all have each other at O Dark 30. Did you guys hear that part or no? Then I saw a zero, then I heard we can hear it. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Well, look, I don't know for sure. I felt that when I called the sheriff and told them about these two items, that would be a telltale thing. That if those items or something in the description match something that we don't know, that the public didn't know, then it gives credence to it. And again, I got a call from the FBI a few hours later, and they were very interested. They were on the phone with my IT team. As far as I know, and my IT team has been hard at work on this, and I know the feds have. I don't think they're going to be able to figure out where this email originated from. I know the Bitcoin address is real. So what I will say is this, that this is not a letter that was thrown together in a couple of minutes. It is a very specific, well-organized.
Okay, really quick, because I just saw Margarita's. It's Helen and Kellerer. We've now renamed the dogs.
Layered letter that really lays things out. This is not AI. You know, if an English teacher were to look at the structure and the grammar and everything else, I think they would have no notes. So this is somebody, it's not a crazy person who's writing this. I mean, they may be crazy, but they have the capacity to make demands, say what they want, say what they don't want, and it's very, very structured.
So the family has now reached out twice publicly, and it is your strong belief, and you've seen the letter, you got the first copy that I know of. It's your strong belief that in fact this will be their only means of communication. You don't believe they'll be responding to Savannah or her brother?
Well, look, Sean, that's what they say in the letter.
Yeah.
You know, there's a substantial demand here. And what the Guthries have said is they want proof of life. And just saying in the letter, she's okay but scared, doesn't prove life. And so I don't know what's going to happen. You know, will whoever, if this letter is legitimate, will this person have a change of heart and try and send something? I don't know. But the way it's written, they say this is it. It's the only communication, and the police aren't going to be able to help you. They're that bold saying that. So as far as I know, the police don't have a lot of clues here, because that's one of the reasons they were so open today at the news conference and provided more details. But I will tell you, and I think this is, you know, I just cannot overstate my gut here. And it's more than my gut. There is a phrase in this email that absolutely makes me believe this person who wrote this, and if they're telling the truth, that Nancy is within a radius of the Tucson area, not in Tucson right now, but in a radius. It could be New Mexico. I don't know how far, but I think at least what the authorities have is they've got a radius, and that's something.
Yeah, I mean, think back to the Elizabeth Smart case, right? Harvey Levin, we really appreciate you taking time to be with us. Thank you for sharing all that.
Oh, stop. Yeah, TMZ and Fox, so speculative. I agree. The thing is, like, why did they reach out to them? Like, why not reach out to NBC where Savannah works? Do you know what I mean? Why? It just all seems super sketch. I mean, obviously, I know she's not that she's been kidnapped, but it just, yeah. It feels like it. And I think, I don't know, we have to go with our gut. Just like when the Jennifer Madeline Soto, we all were like, it's totally Stefan and the mom. They know something, they know more. I think we just have to trust our gut. We have to wait for them to get more information. But someone said about it's hard to negotiate when there's no communication. I don't think they want to negotiate. Like, they're having like a hard, give us this. But the 2 deadline things is weird. Later, read your chat from the first time you played the video. We had a blast at your expense. Oh, it's okay. So it's because it must have done the sound going like it was warning me. I probably should have disconnected when I was like, can you guys still hear it? Because it came up a note like your audio has been disconnected. And then you guys said you could still hear me. It must have disconnected from the tab that I was on, and I needed to exit and go back in. So next time I'll look. I normally have 2 computers set up so I can see the chat. Because while I'm playing the video, I only see the video. So sorry about that. And I'm always behind on the chat. I need to be better. Wait. Hair belly. Oh my God. Hairball yarn. I like that name. Supporting Alive at an hour. I'm awake. Thank you. I appreciate you. I couldn't sleep. I'm normally not. Well, I guess 50-50. The children are asleep. I'm wide awake because this has been on my mind. And it was just ruminating. So I was like, I got to talk. I don't know what the cheater. It was the best fun. I'll go back later. And if anybody's on the replay crew and you stuck around past the non-sound, I always leave the live chat on replay. So if you open up the chat, you'll see what fun they had at my expense. Yeah, it is just, so I was saying like the grammar, he made the point about the grammar, like it was, I just like, yeah, why did they send it to TMZ? That just seems odd. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to be funny. I didn't even know TMZ was still around. Yeah, I didn't. So why did they, I mean, it's probably more prevalent, I guess, out west, because I haven't watched it since I've moved to New York. So that just seems like, why not send it to NBC? Savannah would definitely get it. Thank you, Sue. Why can't I see this name fully? It's like so crazy. Sue D799. I appreciate you. I wouldn't say it yours, but it was just so. Oh, it's fine. I don't care. I don't take myself that seriously. If you want to make fun of me, that's have at it. As long as it's respectful. Like if you call me a dirty mob, that's a different story. You know, Bitcoin went down 50% in value since this has happened. Oh my god. What does that mean? Ween NBC. You know I work there, right, Larry? Go easy. Wait. If it's a family member, I just don't. I've seen so many of these, and then that's why I'm just suspicious. And like I said, that is just my 2 cent tingle. I don't have anything. Just something doesn't feel right about it. A couple of things don't feel right, but then it's also how it's being presented. It's kind of being presented in a bumbling way, but like all of it, it just seems like really bad comedy. Like that TMZ is involved, that they didn't lock down the crime scene, even if it weren't considered a crime scene, the incident scene, whatever. Like all of those things, people just walking up to the door, taking photos. It just seems wrong. Like not how this should be handled. And then seeing Savannah so upset and her face puffy and like I bet she's not sleeping. Do you know? I'm sure the grandkids are all worried. It just, I would be losing my mind. It's awful. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. Oh, you're at work? Oh my goodness. Hopefully you're getting off soon. Happy Friday if you're in the US. Yeah, might have been played down by other corporate media. Yeah, but I think if it were a real like ransom note, well, they probably wouldn't have announced it, I guess. Maybe because of TMZ of who they are, they were quick to say. I'm sure, I hope they got permission from the FBI to talk about it. We got our Boone on. Oh my God. I kept thinking of Boone. I couldn't think of anything else when I was like, she has her wits about her. And then I would see Sarah's face and I'm like, that's not really what I mean to say. But thank you. Oh, regarding Bitcoin. Okay. Yes, Justice. You're not ready to go to sleep? We're okay. Justice is the smallest of the Yorkies, but she's the fiercest. Or the smaller one. There's only two. She's like 3 pounds. Let me see. Come here, Justice. Come on. What are you looking for? Oh. She's keeping guard. She's like circling. I'm sitting at the island. She's like going around. She feels my anxiety. Okay, I'll go back and look at it. Yeah, because I think that he doesn't have, or he has limited media training, which is it. It's not a small thing, right? I know a lot of people get up there and they make it look polished, but generally in like big cities, so I've lived in LA, I live in New York, I work for a media company. People have media training, and so they just present differently, and they know what information, because he's talking off the cuff, but I guess the first time I saw him, he said something and then realized he said it and tried to take it back, but then there were more questions. Yeah, I don't even know why they open it to questions. Like today, I think the less questions, the better, because we don't necessarily need to know. It's not like I'm running out to Arizona to find her. Do you know? Like I'm curious, but I would be more curious to have her home, like, and then she can tell us what happened versus in these couple of days. Although I will say, it does help. Remember in the Stephen Stearns case, someone saw after they released that the car had the tire changed. Oh my God, what was that? Did something just fly by my ear? Oh my, this came out. I have this one in though. It was on, what do you call it? The spare tire. And then someone had seen the Lincoln with the spare tire at X amount of spot. And so that helped. So I do get that talking about things that can be talked about is important. So hopefully people are watching. But even if you saw today, like I felt like the FBI person was more polished than the sheriff. And again, I don't want to Monday morning quarterback for him. I know he is doing his best. I think it is just a matter of he has to step up to the challenge. It's not something, I'm not knocking him. He doesn't have high profile, high media cases every single day. And even if you do have that, you never know how each case is going to hit you. But that's also like, I don't know. This is my analogy to it. He could be a genius, but the way that it's coming across, it makes me nervous. But just like if you haven't traveled a lot, like I have relatives who get annoyed when people have accents because they think that, like a foreign accent, because they think that means a lack of intelligence. But if you travel a lot and you've been the one who has been struggling in the other language and you know you're plenty intelligent, then you have more sympathy for that. Like that doesn't necessarily, or even Americans who think like if you have a Southern accent, you must not be smart. Like that doesn't make sense. That's not how it works. So I'm trying to remember that. Like just because he doesn't have media training doesn't mean he knows his job really well. Do you know what I mean? This is a whole different, what did Kranich say? This is a whole new kitty or a whole different kitty. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. Cattywampus, oh my God. I thought better of Brian Denton until he videoed the blood. Yeah, I haven't watched him a lot. I've seen him like he's not like my go-to on anything, but I recognize, that he does work and he's respected, and I've watched like a couple of things. But that I don't know, it really bothered me. Like if that was your mom, would you want that on the news? Like how does that help? And even if you see it and you want to report on it, you don't need to show us, right? You could say it's sparse. It just, I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. I think some things are sacred. 6 your time. What time zone are you in? I'm in what time? Eastern. I'm like, where am I? It is 4:03 here in New York. The sun is not coming up. But I will say the sun was still up at 5:30 p.m. and I was excited about that. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate you. The Temu of true crime. TMZ is not good for true crime. They should stick to their paparazzi stuff. I don't know. I've not ever seen anything where I'm like, oh my God, they got it right. They solved the case. I could be wrong. But even remember all the pictures they took of Amber Heard, and that was all bogus. They were like waiting at the courthouse. I feel like they were sympathetic to her. You can ruin people's lives like out there just making up stuff as you go. I watched a kidnapping case years ago. Hello, Nikki Davis. The FBI knew there was a chance the victim was still alive, so they put out 2 fake vehicle descriptions and a fake tip line to keep the suspect calm. That makes sense, right? You don't want the suspect to know that you're on to them, which is why I don't know why, what's her name? Ashley Banfield got on there and said, it's the brother-in-law. Like, ma'am. But I would imagine he'd have to have accomplices, right? Because presumably he's at home every night in the bed with his wife. So who's taking care of Nancy if he's involved? He has to have accomplices. And maybe one of the accomplices, $50,000 sounds better to them than a maybe. $50,000 beats a blank and they come forward. Yeah. I mean, we know Fox likes to make up stuff. I just, right? What was it? He's not on there anymore. I admit I watch it. Tucker, he was always like asking questions, like insinuating. Uh-oh. Mommy's laughing. Is that disturbing you? His little hair is gone that he was born with. I'm hoping his curly hair comes in soon. I'm sure they knew if sent to TMZ, then everyone would know and it would reach the family. Maybe, because I like no shade. I just feel like from a journalistic standpoint, they're like a little bit below journalism standards, or they have a different set of standards. And so they probably were the most likely, right? Because I've heard they sent it to other stations, but I haven't heard what those stations were. So hello. Hey, Dandy, how are you? If anybody's looking for a new, interesting Sarah Boone tales and what do I want to say? Sarcasm, satire. Check out Dandy's channel. And tonight he'll have a ramble and then he deletes them. So make sure you subscribe to him so you can come hang out in the Friday night ramble. Because they're always good. I try to watch them the next morning and then they're gone. So you got to be there. It's must see Friday night YouTube. I had a Yorkie named Muffet. Oh, I got Liberty and Justice. They're oh my goodness. Although I almost said his name. Sugar Bear and Justice are like oil and water. She's not. She's like, little boy, go away. Make sure all your doors and windows are locked. Okay, I'm on the 10th floor, but they could come in. Oh my God. When I first moved here, I used to think someone was outside of my terrace, and my mom was like, how would they get there? I'm like, I don't know, drop down from the roof. But I will definitely make sure everything is locked. Luckily, the girls are pretty noisy too when stuff comes in. Sometimes I'm not rational. My anxiety gets the best of me. I also heard they thought a letter had been sent to other media, not sure. Yeah, that's what, but I didn't hear like the name of the media. Do you know? It is just, it's a weird thing. Like they want it to be very public if you're sending it to the media. Like, you know, the FBI is involved and the sheriff is involved, but you don't send it to them. You send it to the media so that everybody can see it, including the family. You want this attention. Like, why would you? Most people who want to get away with stuff want as little attention as possible. Right? The son-in-law's bandmate was charged with kidnapping, embezzlement, burglary, theft, on a few other things. Was on fugitive TV. Really, as well. JLR. Who's JLR? Somebody reacts. I don't know who that is. Interesting. So the bandmates could be the accomplices. Somebody's got to, if it is the son-in-law, somebody's got to be helping him, because who's taking care of her while he's at home? You know? Justice, you scared me. Where's Liberty? A guy saw the van and called it in. Oh, which van? Oh, bless you, Miss. I know. That would be me. I would be looking. Something's got to be out of place. Like, you can't just snatch a whole human being and nothing change in your world. What would the Sarah say? A handle of vodka? Oh my God. A drunk bird. Did you guys hear about the call with Julian? I've been getting messages where I guess the son tells her she's a drunk and a killer, and she's upset. Man, I wonder how much he really remembers of her. And then we also have like the body cam footage where you can't see him but you can hear him. I'm sure he has to remember, because our formative years are typically up until 7, right? I know it's not exact. And he was 8. He had just turned 8 in October. She got arrested in February. Yeah. But I'm glad he knows. And I'm sure at this point, I mean, he's 15. He's on the internet, you know? The victim of a kidnapping is a clue. Who would target her? It's not like her daughter is an A-lister. It must be someone that they know. Right. And some of the neighbors, or most of the neighbors, didn't even know. Yeah. I mean, I think she's an A-lister in morning television. Like, you know, she makes millions of dollars a year. But it's not like, I don't know. I don't even know who. Do they have A-listers and broadcasters? I'm thinking A-listers in like movies and television, but that's not the same thing as a morning talk show. I don't know. Somebody knows. But it would make more sense if it's an insider, right? I don't know. It's weird. Why an 84? I mean, you shouldn't be kidnapping anyone, but an 84-year-old woman with medical issues, mobility issues, snatching her out of her house in the wee hours, leaving her medication behind. Like, you got to be a special kind of fucked up. Yeah. And the son-in-law was the last known person to see her. I'm sure if they find anything in, I think you guys said Annie, the other sister in the car, we're not going to know. We won't know until someone is arrested, like what they did with the Madeline Soto case. Like, once that person is arrested, then they'll tell us everything, because obviously we're hoping she's still alive. And you don't want to do anything where the kidnapper then says, oh, I'm busted. They kill her and run off. Do you know? So for her own safety, there's things they got to keep close to the vest. The pink short signal. I have to find a body cam. I saw, and now I can't figure out where it went. There was a woman in blue shorts, drunk on a bridge with like her 8-year-old son. And I was like, oh my God, this is Sarah if she hadn't murdered someone. Or maybe this woman is on her way to putting somebody in a suitcase. But she was drunk, wouldn't get off the bridge. She's walking across, but she's holding up traffic. The police are trying to get her off. They hobble her. She still gets her, but the hobble is connected to her handcuffs, and she slips out, so the whole hobble comes apart. They're wrestling with her. She pees herself on purpose so that they get pee on them. They finally get her in the back. Like, it took 3 times. They took the son to the grandmother's house, and the grandmother was like, yeah, she's got a problem. They're like, yeah. But the little boy, thank God, lives with the grandmother. It was crazy. I'm like, this is Sarah. This is like a younger version of Sarah. I just can't imagine a family member would have gone over there at 2 a.m. and nobody knew he was gone. Right. Right. And I would say, well, maybe that's where the accomplice was coming, but it had to be someone who knew the layout of the home. Like, they were out in 15, 20 minutes with her, right? And she's got mobility issues. So we're speculating she was carried out. I mean, it could be a million other things, obviously, but it doesn't feel like a total stranger. I'll just say that, just based on everything we know. Just like, I can't put my finger on it, but just like we knew it wasn't a total stranger that was responsible for Madeline Soto being missing. It just is that kind of feeling where there's something not right, doesn't feel right, doesn't smell right, doesn't taste right. It's not passing like the common sense test. It just doesn't feel right. And all these days later, because originally they were saying like she had to have her medicine within 24 hours. Now I get it. They may have been saying that to encourage the person to make a move quickly. So as not to, if it is for a ransom, that's their guarantee of getting a ransom. And so, but I don't know. I mean, at some point she's going to need medication. Oh, you're in Washington State. You're way out there, out west. I love Washington State. Okay. Yours is winning right now. Can't beat the pink shorts. Are they like pink shorts in the sky, like the bat signal? Can they just not have a smell? Invading on her front porch. Yeah, because there's something about a front porch that seems intimate. I mean, I know we get food deliveries at our door now, post-COVID, and Amazon packages. And there was an Amazon package there on the corner too. I was like, oh my God. She was definitely expecting to be here. It just feels intimate, do you know? I mean, back in the day, we would just pop up at like when I was young, pop up at someone's house without like calling. Except if you came to my mama's house and you didn't call, she didn't feel obligated to answer the door. And she didn't sit quiet. She was like, I'm not expecting them. Like, okay, Mom. Is it a kidnapping to cover a murder? Oh my God. I hope not. I hope she's still alive. Oh God, not intentional. I didn't think of that. But why would they just murder her outright? Like, what could that little old lady have done to anyone? The thing is, too, if it is a relative, it's cruel for like all of. I mean, I guess people don't care about that, about all the other relatives. I just feel like there's so many family members killing family members these days. It's almost better if it's a stranger. Do you know? Because it's otherwise you're like losing two people and that sense of betrayal and lying. But here's the part that makes it creepy for me because of the sister's demeanor, who I think you guys said is Annie. I don't hold me accountable. If I correct me if I'm wrong, is what I'm trying to say. Don't quote me on that. Does she know? Because there's something weird about her. Because it could ostensibly be that it's her husband, but she knows nothing about it. I don't know the dynamics between the sisters, so maybe they're always like that. Do you know? It just is something is off. I hope that she's being taken care of, that she's being fed well, she's comfortable. 8 p.m. in Sydney. Good day, mate. Central Time, 3 a.m. Oh wow, it's 4:04 here. 4:17 now. You're being too forgiving. There are procedures. If an EMT was first to the scene, they would have sealed the scene if it looked wrong. A cop should certainly have been trained to do that much. Yeah. But it was like, I think they cleared it, right? Because they said they released it back to the family, which just seemed odd. I mean, you're right, Addie. Like they shouldn't have just left it, especially given the high profileness, however you say that. One in California. California. 1 a.m. Cali girl. Oregon. Oh my goodness, we're everywhere. Ashley, is Jeffrey still single? Banfield. Jeffrey who? Oh my God. Epstein? Dahmer? I'm frightened. What? Is Ashley still on? I don't know her. Miss Banfield, are you still on News Nation? Because I know she was during Sarah's trial. She did that one interview with James Owens asking if there was a plea deal. Talking of which, Savannah was the one who interviewed Heard after the VA verdict. Was she? I don't even remember. Oh, I do. I do remember that. I was going to say, I remember the one with Elaine, but no, they had the big drawn out. Yes. She gets some good interviews. Are we up at 3 a.m. or did we even go I laid in bed wide awake and then I had to talk to somebody about this. So I chose you all. I'm imagining the short spinning with the trumpet. Oh my God. The pink ones? Please let them be clean. I just imagine those things to be like so grungy and dingy and just yuck. Yeah, I don't know why she got on there. And now she's radio silent. She's not even coming back to clear it up. But she said she had a reliable source. She's sitting in Vermont in front of her whatever. And a reliable source said it's the brother-in-law, which is reckless because we want them to keep her alive and not run off, you know? Or now at least come back and clarify, like, oh, you misspoke or something. But I think since then, the sheriff and the FBI have kind of like walked that back. I don't know how successfully. It only matters how the kidnapper perceives it, right? But it's like, I thought that was reckless. But she's one that likes the scoop. Sometimes I think people, and it seems like Brian liked the scoop too, they don't think kind of about the ramifications, the entirety, the impact. That's not what I want to say. But you know what I mean. Like in all in what they're doing, how does it impact the outcome? How could it potentially impact the outcome? Because you can tell us like after she's rescued. You know what I mean? You don't there's not a scoop. And then we'll know. Is the gossip on the block? Okay. It's Friday in America. It is 4:20 Friday. So tonight there should be a Friday night ramble, right? Come on, Dandy. Yeah. Okay, go to sleep. Good night, Lisa Francophile. Oh my God, I remember Lisa Frank. I think I should go too because I gotta get Sugar Bear to school on time. Sue, thank you. Replay crew will have a ball. Know that. I think you're correct, Tanika. Imagine if it's unconnected. Yeah. Leopold and Leo. Oh yeah. Didn't they? There was a movie with Sandra Bullock that they made based on that. Was it Sandra? They almost got away with it. If the one hadn't thrown up and left the glasses, I think they wanted it to be like an esoteric experience, and they didn't realize like what it was like, what the visceral. They didn't imagine what the visceral experience was going to be like. In my mind, ransom is never a good sign. Might be a delay tactic. Yeah. Yep. So the house was 3 miles away, dropped her off, last one to see her alive. Someone comes back early in the morning, goes through the front door after taking off the Ring doorbell. There's a movement in the house, camera detects, but there's no image because there's no subscription. She leaves her watch and her phone. She's out of the house in about 20 minutes because the pacemaker disconnects from the app on her watch. And the next day, she's meant to show up at church online, doesn't show up, family calls 911. So does that mean the family goes to the same church, or the family would have been online at the same church and noticed she wasn't there? Yeah, because I mean, I don't live local. My sister would probably notice faster if my mom was gone. But like within 10 minutes of verifying that she wasn't home, they were calling. Obviously, now we know they saw, well, likely they saw blood on the porch, but they could have gone in through the garage if they had the garage code. They might have had the key to the front. It just is, I don't know. My mom left for heaven home in June. Oh, I'm sorry. And this one is hitting me hard. I guess it triggered my grief. Yeah. And it's not even been a year yet. It's, yeah, definitely. Take care of yourself, please. Protect your mental health. Where Peter gets snippy. Oh my God. That was like a classic Darvo call. And then by the end, he's asking her, well, what can I do? He starts off firm, like there's only so many seconds in a day. I don't think she realizes when she like, it just takes a couple seconds, but then it takes a million years to follow up with you, ma'am. Cause then you want to see the read receipt or the delivery verification. Like it's exhausting. And they got the wrong address. First of all, what 15-year-old wants a chocolates and a fuzzy bunny? Like, and then you send it to the wrong house. Second of all, who delivers chocolate to a home in Florida in May? Okay, I'm not. Anyway. Natalie Lawyer chick posted a reaction video the other day of a woman drunk at a movie theater getting arrested. Gives off serious Sarah vibes. It was great. Oh, God. Yeah, the Julian call. If you go on Reddit, they do transcripts of it, which is how I like to read it first. One, there's a transcript. I think it's Moody Shrew on the Sarah Boone continued subreddit, and then "But I Don't Think of You" does a dramatic reinterpretation, which I love. Julian was much more businesslike with Sarah. Um, Maybe like fatherly, or what I imagine Sarah's father to be like, because she doesn't give him any sass. Like she gives Peter so much lip. Um, I would have had to hang up on her. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm good with my boundaries. I'm firm. So anyway, Norway. Hi. Around a year after around a year, I'm only up because I couldn't sleep. I'm thinking about Nancy and what's going on. Um, Interesting. It's contrast left less F's to give than J. Yes, totally. That's perfect. Well said. Well said. And she doesn't even try it, you know? Still haven't heard a call where they're actually talking about the documentary, though, other than the questions that I can't think of it all day. I don't know when we're going to hear those. There wasn't a call, there was an email. Savannah Network. I don't know. Let's look. Let's see. But most people wouldn't know this unless they're like, well, if you're a relative, you're going to know, right? Because Lord knows my relatives are always trying to figure out how much I make. You can't borrow any money. She has a net worth of $40 million. Hold on, I want to find a reputable source. Oh, AZ Central. So, is the comment about the Arizona PD? Is it Tucson specifically, or all of Arizona? Oh, this one, they want $1. Oh wait, I'm not even showing you guys. Hold on. Let's do this. Now I gotta remember the layout. Damn it. Hold on. Okay. It's up. My head looks too big. Sorry, I was playing with these the other day and I need to label them all because I just click until it shows up. Okay. What is the name of this one? It just says screen layout 6. Okay. So she has 2 older siblings, sisters Annie, writer and a poet, brother Cameron. Oh, I like that name. Cameron Guthrie is a retired F-16 fighter pilot who served in the Vermont Air National Guard. She's got a BA in journalism from the University of Arizona, graduating cum laude. She was a member of the Arizona Alpha chapter of Pi Beta Phi. She went to law school at Georgetown, graduated magna cum laude. She's a bad girl. She also received the highest score on the Arizona bar exam. She lives in Brooklyn Heights, townhouse in New York with her husband and their children. So Baptist. She's got a reported net worth of $40 million in 2026. It is estimated that she makes around $8 million per year on Today. However, that has not been publicly released. So here they say she could have not walked out of the home on her own. But that's not consistent with she took an Uber on Sunday. Or maybe she walks assisted and all of her assistive devices were still in the home and they're saying that's how they know. But see here, it says homicide detectives were called in to process the scene at her house. So that's what I don't get. Oh, that's a cute little, why they released it. A detailed ransom note with her family. Officials confirmed they shared it. So that sounds like it went, maybe TMZ and those guys called the officials. The note included, hold All these ads. The note included information on what Guthrie was wearing that night and other details about the house. So the floodlights and the other thing that the TMZ guy said. And authorities were taking it seriously. The local news, the CBS affiliate, said it received a similar ransom note and previously contacted investigators. Shared the note. Pima County shared the note with the FBI, which in turn shared it with Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Savannah. The Pima County Sheriff's Department said late February 3rd, it has assigned 100 deputies. Okay, so they've got resources and detectives to the desperate search for 84-year-old Nancy 3 days after she was last seen. Yeah, they're in a race against time. She needed life-saving medication every day to treat a medical condition. Yeah, time is not on their side. So you guys send, good vibes, warm wishes, prayers, whatever you believe in, to all of the resources that are looking for this, to the family, and especially, for Nancy to come home safe and sound and not injured or harmed or, yeah. Yeah, I think this was Savannah's childhood home. She was born in 71. If not her childhood home, she moved there shortly after. I mean, she definitely lived there when she was young. I don't think they waited an hour. I think it was like 10, 15 minutes. Let's look back at this. Yeah, they checked on her at 11:56. You guys see that? They checked on her at 11:56 a.m. after she did not show up at church. With the chat is saying it was virtually she did not show up. And then what is that? 7 minutes later? No, 10 minutes. 4 and 3. 7 minutes. I was right the first time. Her family calls 911 to report her missing. So it wasn't hours. And then 12:15, the investigators arrive and launch a search operation. Yeah. And right away they said, she has no, oh shoot, it's not showing you. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I forgot. I'm in this weird mode. Okay, let me hide this. You see that there? This is on yourvalley.net, one of their local media outlets. So 11:56, they went to the house to check on her. 12:03, they called 911 to report a missing person. And then 12:15, investigators arrive. Which seems especially quick. But I guess they saw things in the house, like the watch and the phone and her purse were there. So they knew like she didn't, and her cane or something. So yeah. Okay, let's laugh at Sarah and then I'm going to get out of here because Sarah is fun to laugh at and is lighter fare. Oh, you guys already figured that out without me. I heard someone say, she's already at the top. Like there's no promotion for her to get. She's the lead anchor on the first 2 hours of Today's Show. That's it. So I don't know what kind of a promotion they're talking about. And she's the long-standing anchor because Hoda retired. So Craig Melvin is the new kid on the block. She's like HBIC. I'm taking care. Just aware of it comes in waves. Yeah, I'm I'm sure it does. My mom is thankfully still here, but we had another cancer scare. She had her last round of chemo the day after Christmas, and then she had her test. So hopefully she's out of the woods, but it's her second time. Like, she had almost made her 5-year mark, so I very much worry about that. Although I'm older, so I feel like I've had a long time with my mom. My sister, who is 13 years younger, I think it's gonna be rough on her. But I think on some level we're like all aware of our parents' mortality, and just as I get older, I'm aware of everybody's. But I will say, because I lost my brother when he was young, and people would say it gets better with time, which I don't agree with. I think it gets better, like we better manage our emotions about it with time. Where early on, it's, for me, it was like, I don't want to say uncontrollable, but hard to control. But it hurts just as if it was yesterday. It's just, like I said, I have better tools, better coping mechanisms. So that part is less traumatic, but it doesn't get easier. The transcripts and parodied recaps. Yeah. Those I wake up to. I mean, I know there's not a posting of the Sarah calls every day, but I wake up to those. At first, just having the parodies was fun, but then I also do like the transcripts of what was actually said. But it's fascinating. There's always a lot of lies. I want to do fact checks on all of them, but I'm struggling finding time with the little ones. Sugar Bear hasn't been to school. Well, he hasn't been to school this week. The idea is to get him there today, and maybe he only went like 3 or 4 times in January. I'm still paying because I want him. He's on the list for the free school in September of 3K we have in New York. I don't know what they have everywhere else, but then I would just have to pay for aftercare. But the calls, she lies so much. And then on the call today, she's like directing Peter to send money to Nicole to buy stuff. He's like, "Oh, I'll send her the $40." And then Sarah's like, "No, remember, it's 80." Like, Jesus, what? Who would be doing this if he were? I mean, Lana used to do it all, unfortunately, and she was sick. But it just is, tell her no. Tell that woman no. You know you're going to be on YouTube. Behave yourself. They can't help it. I mean, and then there's like all these officials. We watched something on Suma's last night. I can't remember. I think you were there, Meow Greed. If not, we've seen it before. The guy, the deputy who sounds like Obama, who keeps saying real quick. He kept talking about himself being a politician. I would have never recognized him. I don't think that video would be as popular as it is if he hadn't kept, reminding the guy he's important. People just act up. The drunk ones are always, I'm always amazed. I wonder if they just wake up the next day and go, WTF. Yeah, Moody Shrew is good. This one, the Julian one and the one today, I didn't wait for Moody Shrew, but Moody Shrew is the one who does the verbatim, and then I Don't Think About You or I Don't Care About You does the parodies, which are always hilarious. The subreddit keeps me going. Oh, I didn't know you lost your mom 4 years ago, Margarita. I'm sorry for your loss too. Oh, she visits you in the dreams. I don't know. Moms are like an appendage because we've known them our entire lives. Do you know? They probably know us better than we know ourselves, at least our earlier versions of ourselves. Oh, today's press conference. Today's was stranger than the others, but I feel like their main point was to say they don't have a specific suspect. Like, everybody's still a suspect. Why they opened it up to questions that they couldn't answer, I don't know. Oh, I missed that. She told P to cut J. Oh, I haven't heard them all. Interesting. What gets me too about Sarah is like she's moving to the farm, she's moving to Lana. She never mentions her son. He's like such an afterthought, but she pretends that he's the most important. Ma'am, your actions belie. Like it doesn't, and you're trying to take money from him so that you can have the whole shebang, chips. They're living the good life. What did she say? Or they're, I can't remember. We would say living high on the hog back home, but that's not what she said. Large. She said they're living large. It's your son. He deserves it after having you as a mom. She left News Nation. Okay, she did a late live tonight, standing by her earlier information from her inside source. She's doubling down. Like, does she not realize the risk that she's putting Nancy in? Whatever. But see, that's where I feel like now it's becoming a journalistic ego thing, and it's not about helping, which is, I get it. We have First Amendment, freedom of speech. I get it. But someone's life is on the line. I just think people should be more responsible. Trying to break the boys up. Yeah, I missed that one too. Oh my God. And they've been childhood friends. He's going to break up with his friend for you, who's in jail and a leech. And how is she always thinking she never asked for anything? You told me to call you. You told me to let you know. And then when he's like, it's a hard time, at the end of the call, she loses. So what? How do you want to follow up on this, or whatever her verbiage was? But like, should I call you? Well, you have to. Like, when should I call? It just is very strange. Who told you to spend all that money on copies? And copies are like 15 cents. So she would have had like 300 pages. It doesn't even make sense. Then I went and looked at her exhibit. She had like 7 exhibits for the trial, for the family court. So there's no way. But why would you overspend without confirming with Peter that he was going to like re-up you? That sounds like a personal problem, man. And he's like, I have a wife and kids to take care of. And she's just like, I know you do. I know. He's not Brian. And Brian is not even Brian anymore. She was 99. I've been having a cardinal at all of my windows. Follow me around the house, the windows. Not many cardinals in the desert. Oh, I love that. Now I hope I get to live. I live to be 99. I want to be here as long as I can for the boys. Ooh. Sending you hugs, Miss 56. Justice. Do you need more water? Oh no, there's water in there. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try to get to bed. Maybe Ashley Banfield may be correct. It won't be the first or the last time inside sources know the truth and what's really going on. She may be correct. I just think it's a risk that if it is her son-in-law and she's still alive, if he knows they're on to him, he could do horrible things to Miss Guthrie. Do you know? So even if she's right, like, what's the benefit of saying it, that it's the son-in-law, and we don't know if she's safe yet, you know, because she could be alive. We're hoping she's alive, and then I don't know. I'm conflicted about it. I am obviously not in broadcasting. I'm just here with my 2 cents. But it's just it just gives me the ick, like Brian Itten showing the blood. It just gives me the ick. Hopefully it all works out. But it could also help, I guess. Like, let's be fair. If by her saying that, even though the sheriff is not confirming it, maybe someone saw the son-in-law being weird or doing something unusual, and that will prompt them to report that. But I think everyone's hope is that she comes home alive and well, do you know? But then also, who is her source? It's got to be somebody on the inside. And if they're telling her, are they telling other people? They know she's going to report it. So So does Ashley, is she only on YouTube? Because I think I watched it on, it was like Drop Dead Serious, but I thought maybe that is the only channel. I don't know. I remember her doing an interview with Owens on News Nation though, about the ransom. Little bit of Lisa. Yeah, she may have gotten it right. Hopefully it ends well. Hopefully it doesn't cause any harm. I think someone said there were things like a wheelchair, walker, or cane, and I'm guessing those were left in the house. Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like, so she couldn't leave unassisted, and all of her assistive devices. Because I know in one of the photos with Savannah, the one on the Today Show set, there she's on a cane at that point. So yeah. But again, if she were carried out, she wouldn't need the cane, right? But then wherever she is, she's dependent on someone because of her limited mobility. Someone has to assist her in moving around. So that's the thing, is like, just I'm praying that they're taking care of her, whatever that might look like, that they're being humane and they're giving her the respect that most of us have for elderly people, for our elders. Do you know? I just hope that they're not depriving her of dignity. In Sarah's call, she was like, everyone in my whole life misunderstand what I'm saying. No, Sarah, you just don't like being told about yourself, right? And if it's everyone, then it's really you. You have to look at yourself, right? But she says things without saying them. It's just passive aggressive. Like, you told me. Oh, I know. You told me, though. Even if he told you to tell him, he didn't tell you, I'm going to pay every damn bill you run up so that you're not in the hole. Like, that would be a conversation to have before you run up $70, because to get you out of the hole, he's got to give you more than $70, and you're accruing every day. But also you're lying, because they don't cost that much. You do get free stamps for civil cases. You get pen and paper. But she wants it all typed up, which is why we saw with the closing argument, it went around the world. So now we know Nicole can't send it directly to the court like the way that Peter can, but she was working on some part, because Peter probably said, finally, I don't have time for all of this. Sarah clearly didn't look at any of it, because she had no frame of like what her case law said. She just had the title of the case law. She didn't argue it in making her presentation. She didn't say, this comes from this citation. This is clearly applies here. It was, I don't know. Judge Jackson, where are you? I couldn't sleep. We're going to go to bed now. Woman of CO. Oh, gee. I was worried. I'm thinking about Nancy Guthrie and just hoping for the best for her. But I wanted to talk through some things, and it was good because the chat had a lot of good information, and we're all, the power of people. We're sending good vibes and hoping for the best for her, the best outcome for the family, that she's happy and healthy and being respected. And sometimes it's a group of people coming together that helps that. I saw, Kathleen, that she got the 60-day extension. I believe that both Adams and Current found no appeal, told Boone, and her reaction made him withdraw rather than submit anything. Ooh, that's an interesting one. It's possible. It is definitely possible. Okay. Hopefully, like I said, I will leave the live chat up for the replay crew. Replay crew, I appreciate you. Oh, I can't even imagine Margarita. Yeah. And even when you're not talking to your mom, like, there's a comfort in knowing, but she's still smiling down on you. When my great grandma passed, I talked to her actually for a long time afterwards. I needed the comfort of her presence, even though she wasn't actually there, if that makes sense. Okay. Let me just make sure I got all the starred ones. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for talking through this with me. Let's, like I said, send good vibes to the Guthrie family, to Nancy, that she's safe and warm, to Savannah, that she's holding it together and dealing with the madness that is happening. I'm sure she knows more than we know, though. So hopefully there's comfort in that information. And hopefully she's reunited with her mom soon, you know? All right, everybody. Take care of yourselves. I appreciate you hopping on with me, and I will talk to you all later. Toodles. Please take care of yourselves, guys.